Yo, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Kim. Today we're going to be doing a birthday book haul. So these are books I bought around my birthday or on my birthday. If you watch the vlogs, you've probably actually seen a lot of them already. But I did order some books off Waterstone because there are some editions of these books that I preferred the UK paperback copy of. So I waited. I bought them on my birthday and then I waited for them to come in and now they've came in. So you haven't, if you watch the vlogs, you haven't seen these books already. And I will be only highlighting some books that I'm more and more excited to read. I know in the vlogs I showed other books that I've gotten. I'm not going to show them here. Yeah, I'm not going to show them all here. I'm just going to show the batch that I was super excited for. I know the month of June hasn't been over, but this is a good amount. I'm not gonna, I shouldn't get more than this to be honest. But yeah, let's get started. There was one book that not one book, I'm sorry, there was a whole edition that I treated myself on my birthday for. I'll just insert clips here because I already filmed it and I don't want to take it out because it's still in the box. But I got the Akira book set anniversary edition, so it's like the hardback edition. That was honestly the ultimate treat for myself. That's the one I was like way looking forward to, okay? All these other books like don't stand a chance. I have been eyeing that for years, or just having the Akira book set in general. But yeah, that was my ultimate like treat to myself. I got it on sale, I think for $50 off. I think originally it ranges, depending where you're buying it from, but it ranges from $200 to $190. So it really depends where you got it. I got like $50 off and it was still in great condition. So whoever like gave it up kept it in perfect condition. Anyway, I digress. So the first thing we're going to start with, or the first category, I kind of broke it into categories. I broke it into dragons, so fantasy. The books that I have that are more horror based, I honestly think there's a little bit of horror in almost all these books, or an sense of horror, but there's a stack where it's like purely horror. And then we have a lot of literary fiction. I know there's probably some subcategories of genres in here. I'm just gonna just put it all in the fiction category. But yeah, it's gonna be a kind of a long video because I do want to read a little bit or explain what these books are about to you. So feel free to grab a snack and a drink and just relax. And if you have read these books, let me know in the comments. I'd be excited. Some of these are old. Not all of these are new. Not all of these came out this year. Some of these had a reprint that came out this year, but they have been out since the past 2 or 3 years. I'm still very new to reading or like the reading and book culture. So there are some books that probably have been popular or talked about years ago. And I'm just catching up to it because I don't want to miss out on those. Yeah. So we're going to start in the dragon category, which is funny because I replaced Godzilla with a dragon I got at Michael's. So I thought it'd be very fitting to watch over us over here. Oh, I'm so excited. So I found this at half price and I've heard so much about it. It is To Shape a Dragon's Breath by, I'm not going to be able to pronounce it, Monique Blackus? Yeesh. Yeah. I can't wait. So I'm only the books that I'm super excited for, I'm not going to read too much of the synopsis because I still want to be surprised going into it. Others, I don't mind reading the full thing because I know my butt's going to hella forget exactly what the heck the book was about. But some of them I want to know like very little. This is one of those that I don't want to read too much about. I have watched reviews, but given that there's so much that happens in this book that I kind of forgot. But to summarize, I thought this quote summarized it pretty well. A young indigenous woman enters a colonizer-run dragon academy and quickly finds herself at odds with the approved way of doing things in the first book of a brilliant new fantasy series. So that is To Shape a Dragon's Breath. Okay, to the next one. This one's like a big one. I actually was inspired to get this one from Elliot Brooks, I believe. If you watched her she's mainly fantasy, but her YouTube channel. I love her recommendations so freaking much, and how she explained this specific book sold me. But it's The Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer. Y'all, first of all, this book is gorgeous, okay? If I take off the dust jacket, this is just the standard edition. Do you see that? It's gorgeous. I mean, it's essentially the same thing as the dust jacket, but still, this baby back. Okay, but yeah, I'll put a link or a card up above of the video she was explaining about this book. Essentially, what sold me was apparently there's a lot of friendship, or a lot of moments where the main character, it's character based. No, I always suck at explaining this, but I like books that focus a lot on friendship and building that relationship between your peers. I know there's a lot of action in it, but I think I'm more looking forward to the dialogue between each other, like if there's fights, if there's arguments, and then like being able to make up from those fights and arguments. A quick summary of this book would be Aram, our main character, desires nothing more than to make friends and to be accepted by those around him. Unknown to him, he bears a gift that everyone will kill for. He goes to attend an academy to become a dragon rider, which is the highest honor of the school. And then there is a dark god that arises to threaten the world of magic. So there's a bunch of that going on. It's very simple. It's nothing crazy. I guess in my opinion, it's nothing crazy, but it's the journey. It definitely screams the journey. This is huge. And this is something that I'm very looking forward to reading. Moving on to our horror, which is I'm excited for. Ooh. I was hunting for this book. I don't know why it was hard to find in stores. But I was looking through like 3 or 4 stores for this book, and it's called The Invisible Hotel by Yi Y Ham. This one's a long one, so I think I summarized it to my personal amount. Yeon dreams of a hotel where there are infinite keys to infinite rooms where she wants to escape from. Yeon wakes up in her home village. Yeon, I don't know how to pronounce her name, I'm sorry, but Yeon wakes up in her home village in South Korea, where she is watching her mom wash the bones of their ancestors, which is a constant reminder of what is lost in the forgotten war that never ends. Girl, what are you washing bones for? Yeon's younger brother is stationed in North Korea border. Slowly, things gets worse in Yeon's dreams. As the line between reality and illusion slowly begins to blur, Yeon is a lead to unsettling truth about her country's collective heritage. Sorry if I read that or butchered that, but it sounds very interesting. It's very up my alley, so I can't wait. The Invisible Hotel. Then we have Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wiswell. Wisewell? This one, the person, I got this one at Barnes actually. I think this is the Barnes edition. I think normally this comes in red. The cashier, I always love it when they talk. I always love it when they put their input in certain books where they're also excited, because I mean, if I were them, if I was working, I've never worked at a bookstore, but if I was and someone picked up a book that I just read and I was like very excited about, I would also like, hey, good choice. But yeah, she was very excited for me to read this book. Okay, so there's 2 main characters, and one of them has, I think this one, I think her name is a little tricky to say. So if I sound like the character from One Piece, like she, it's because I can't stop hearing that in my head when I'm reading her name. So I'm going to try my best. Bear with me. Session? Session. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it for now, okay? Unless I listen to the audiobook, that's how it's gonna be for this video. Shen is shapeshifter who resides as a lump at the bottom of a ruined manor. She gets interrupted by humans and constructs a body from the remains of her past meals. So she's like building herself up. Shen gets hurt by the she gets hurt by the hunters and is nursed back to being healthy by a woman. As they grow, or by a whole family, not just the girl, but as they grow close, Shen falls in love with the human, but realizes she shouldn't eat her. So I guess she views her as food, but she fell in love, that's how these stories go. Little did she know, the human is actually hunting for a shapeshifter monster that supposedly cursed her family. Shen didn't commit any crime. That's what she claims, all right? So she's also curious, why is this family blaming her? They don't know it's her, but why are they blaming the shapeshifter for being the person putting the curse on that family? So she's going to, in my assumption, she's going to help the whole family figure out who truly done it. So I heard there's a lot of body horror in this book. I can imagine, just based on like the first paragraph where they explain that she had to build her own body from the scraps of the dead that she ate. Up my alley, up my alley. Okay. And this one I wanted the UK edition because the other one is cute here, the one that we have here in the States, but it's Chris Bunny. Do you look at the back? It feels so good. So, Curse Bunny by Bora Chung, translated by Anton Her. Sorry if I'm butchering the names. Curse Bunny is a genre-defying collective of short stories by Korean author Bora Chung, blurred in the lines between magical realism, horror, and science fiction. Chung uses elements of fantastic and surreal to address the very real horrors of cruelties of patriarchy and capitalism in modern society. Anton Her translation skillfully captures the way Chung prose effortlessly glides from being terrifying to really humorous. So there's a little humor in here. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited. Very excited. So that ends the horror section. And now we're just going to like general fiction. Or literary fiction, contemporary fiction. I still am not fully like aware of the difference. Regardless, this is fiction, and this is the ones I'm very, very, very excited for. I don't think I have a nonfiction in here. I have to double check, but yeah, okay. There is this one that I'm looking at right now. Oh, you know what? Let's get this one out of the way. I have a children's book, and you guessed it, Peter Pan. And it's perfect if you watch... Oh, I'm sorry. If you play Disney Dreamlight Valley, Peter Pan actually just came to the village today. The update was today. So this is actually perfect. I wanted to go... I already updated my game, but perfect timing. I got this for $2 at half price, and they had the pretty editions, don't get me wrong. A lot of people actually... There's like 10 versions of these in different types of editions, but this one spoke to me the most because I wanted a vintage copy. Again, I'm very particular of what... If I'm going to spend money on books, I want it to be the print that I want. And I wanted more an old school one. Not just that, because if you look closely, the faces are kind of creepy as hell. I'm not sure if it's going to focus. There are illustrations in this one, and I actually tabbed it already to show you all. But this, look at this. This is a mermaid. Summer Days at the Lagoon. And then another one, we have a map. And then the last one I wanted to show you, just to sell it to you why I got this book. This beautiful one. Yeah. We all know the story of Peter Pan, right? I don't have to say it. I just wanted to show you. I got this. Okay. I do have one because I was reading the back of the books to make sure how much I want to say and how much I want to be spoiled with. This one I know is a mystery, but this one's called Death on Gokumon Island by Seshi Yokimuzo? A classic Japanese murder mystery from the author Honen Murders. It's, first of all, it's a gorgeous color. Okay, let's see. So this one is about the rock-bound and forbidding Gokumon Island was a pirate stronghold. Now it is a home to a clannish Finnish community dominated by two feuding families. When Kosuke Kindachi arrives bringing a news of a death, it triggers a series of grotesquely staged murders. The scruffy detective attempts to untangle the island's secrets and stop the killings, but a fresh mystery seems to greet him at every turn, and soon he falls under the suspicion himself. I'm not a huge mystery, like, if the whole book is based, sorry, I like killed my dad. Huge, like the whole thing is about a mystery murder or just a mystery in general. A lot of books I've actually read recently have mystery in them. We're trying to solve something. So I kind of count those with a little bit of mystery, but this one's, I believe, purely mystery. This might be my first purely mystery book, and I'm excited to read this one. Now we're just going to go in random order, okay? Should I get the hardbacks out of the way? Let's get the hardbacks out of the way. My stack is like kind of hard to manage at this point. Yeah. Let's get these hardbacks. I got this one purely because of the cover art and that I love mangoes. So this one's called There is Rio Grande in Heaven by Ruben Reyes Jr. Do you see how gorgeous that is? It's so nice. Tell me you don't cut your mangoes like that, because I do. Okay. In There is Rio Grande in Heaven, Ruben Reyes Jr. conjures strange dreamlike worlds to explore what we would do if we woke up in the morning and our lives were unrecognizable. Boundaries between the past, present, and future are blurred. Menacing technology and unchecked bureaucracy cut through every life with uncanny dread. The characters from the mango farmers to pop stars to ex-guerrilla fighters to cyborgs are forced to make uncomfortable choices that not only mean life or death, but might also allow them to be heard in a world set on silencing voices of Central Americans. Very excited. Very. I couldn't stop holding it in my hands. I was like, ooh, I'm not sure. Do any of y'all feel that way with your books that you're very happy or excited to read or already read, that you just can't stop touching them? You just can't stop caressing them. Anyway. The next one, also, these main two books were on a whim. Normally, definitely if I'm buying, I like to do a little bit of, like, just even just a little bit of research that I might be interested in the book, because in my head, if I'm truly browsing, I might as well go to the library. Right? Like, I don't have to purchase all the books I'm interested in. There's definitely some books I look at and I actually do this. I take a picture if I'm at a bookstore and they look interesting just based on the cover and maybe even the synopsis just a little bit, but not enough for my money yet. I take a picture so I remember that book, and then I would just get it at the library. So that's kind of what I do. But these I had to get the copy. All right, so another one. I was a sucker for this one, mainly, besides the cover, mainly because it's set in San Francisco and I'm a sucker for local stories that are set locally. Authors that are from here locally, even if their stories are somewhere else, but if they're from here, I'm like a sucker for that. I don't know. It gets me. So I was like, ooh, okay, I'll get you. Awake in the Floating City by Susanna Kwan. I actually already put a cover on it. I do cover some of my books because I want them to be in good condition before I actually have I'll take them off eventually, but when I find a forever home for them, not a forever, but a really good home for them in my whole setup, that I'll take them off. But for now, I really don't. I'm particular, okay? Don't hate me because I put covers. Ooh, okay. Years of rain have drowned the city of San Francisco. See, that's why I got it. That was it. That was more than enough for me to get it. Bo's mother was carried away in a storm surge and has been alone ever since. Bo wants to escape and find her mom, but her neighbor Mia, an elderly lady, asks Bo to be her caregiver. Bo decides to stay, and while being with Mia, gives Bo the inspiration she needs to continue her work as an artist, which has been so long since she's actually done some art in a while. Mia's health starts to deteriorate, and Bo finds herself wanting to honor their disappearing world and the woman she cared for, while also trying to save Bo from herself. It sounds like a cute story about the people that impacted your life and finding yourself. It sounds like so. That was cute. I'm excited for that one too. I've heard really good things about the next book. Yeah, I can't pronounce a lot of names in this next book, so bear with me. There Are Rivers in the Sky by Elf Shafak. Ooh, I don't know. I can't pronounce. It's also a very gorgeous cover, and it feels good with the size. In the ruins of Nineveh. No, the ancient city of Mesopotamia. Ooh, how did I do it? Mesopotamia, right? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna butcher a lot of this, so yeah, bear with me. Hidden in the sand lie the fragments of a long-forgotten poem, the Epic of Gilgamesh. I've heard of things of Gilgamesh. I also have watched ReZero, or Fate Zero, so my extensive knowledge is based on an anime. I'm sorry. This is a novel that spans centuries, continents, and cultures intertwined by rivers, rains, and water drop. It also asks who gets to control memory, and it tells a potential story about the cost of forgetting. So, there's more to it. This is one of those books that I don't want to read too much in it. I've heard really great things about it, and books I've heard amazing or great things about, I just want to go in it as blind as possible, but of course enough to make me get the book. But yeah. Excited to get that one. Those are my hardbacks. Now the rest is gonna just be paperback. You good? You're still with me? I'm sorry. This is a lot. I know it's a lot. I'll show y'all the amount. I can't even carry the full amount, but it's fine. Hang on. Make sure you get your drink. To the next one. We have The Library of Heartbeats by Laura Ima Messina. I like this one a lot. This one sold me because this takes place in Kamakura in Japan, and I visited that area. So if anything, I don't know, again, areas that I'm from or that I visited, I have more of a connection with, and I'm like, ooh, okay. On a peaceful Japanese island of Teshima, there's an archive where the heartbeats of visitors from all around the world are collected. In this small, isolated building, the heartbeats of people who are still alive or have already passed away continue to echo. Several miles away in the ancient city of Kamakura, two lonely souls meet. A 40-year-old Tsuchi and 80-year-old Kenta. Tsuchi and Kenta discover they share a bond that will tie them together for life. Their journey will lead them to Teshima and the Library of Heartbeats. Ooh, it's giving off book about books, or I mean, it's set in a library, but the Library of Heartbeats, you know what I mean? It's giving book vibes. So that one I'm excited for. Then we have a little bit questionable, but the cover got me. I thought it was going to be more vibrant in person, but it did get me, though. The Lost in Garden by Adam S. Leslie. This one's pretty cool, actually. I put little, if you notice I've been taking Post-its off, it's because I scanned them all and I wrote what I want to read out loud. I'm so particular, I hate it sometimes. I'm like, only read the top. Another book I don't want to go like too much into, not for your sake, but for my sake. I don't want to be too spoiled. But I thought the top was good enough. There's a quote. Like an old wives' tale, like a piece of wisdom passed down through generations which no one questioned or even thought about too hard, like folklore. It was just something everyone knew, a rule to be followed. Don't go to Albany. I don't know how to pronounce this properly. It's like Albany? Albany? I'll just show you. It's this one. I wonder why. Doesn't you kind of realize it doesn't take much to sell me? It really doesn't. It really doesn't. All right, this one won a Nobel Prize in literature, so probably y'all who are very familiar in this space know this book. Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tok. Oh, no, I can't pronounce the last name. I'm not gonna butcher it. It's cute because she's right there. She was like right there. This one was okay to read the back too. In a remote Polish village, I'm not sure if it's Janina devotes the dark winter days to studying astrology, translating the poetry of William Blake, and taking care of the summer homes of wealthy Warsaw residents. Her reputation as a crank and a recluse is only amplified by her not-so-secret preference for the company of animals over humans. Then a neighbor, Bigfoot, her neighbor, Bigfoot, hello, turns up dead. Soon, other bodies are discovered in increasingly strange circumstances. A suspicious mount, Janina inserts herself into the investigations, certain that she knows who done it. If only anyone would pay her mind. It sounds like a fun read. It's not that big too. You're going to notice a lot of the books I have are probably less than 300 pages, minus the big chunk I just put down. This is probably the thickest one of the paperbacks I've gotten. Yeah, out of the whole stack of paperbacks, this is probably the biggest. First, and then this is like second in comparison. So most of them are actually really short, so I hope I get to bust them out this year. Prioritize them well over my fantasy books. This one also, I've heard of the title, but when I ran into it in the store, I was like, yes, you know what, it's time to get it. But it's Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. I like the cover also. So, Open Water is at once achingly beautiful love story and potent insight into race and masculinity that ask what it means to be a person in a world that sees you only as a black body, to be vulnerable when you are only respected for strength, to find safety and love only to lose it. There is much more to it. I know it mainly takes place in London, this book, and it has two people that they've met. So, sorry, I'm not saying a lot, but because it's so small, I try not to know too much. Like, look at this. It's so tiny. So, that should summarize, like, the vibe it was going for. It was enough for me to get the book. But yeah, it was a cute one. Okay, the next one I'm kind of excited about because I actually eyed this for a while now because the hardback print version came out here and it looks really cool, don't get me wrong, but once I saw the paperback edition that's in the UK of this copy, I was like, oh no, we're choosing that one over the hardback over here. But it's Glyph by Ali Smith. Alright, first of all, let's look at it. Alright, do you see the horse? Or pony? Isn't it cute? I know Glyph has the one here, it's like green with like a tail in the back. I'm pretty sure. I was so close to getting it. But yeah, I'm glad I took my time and I was like, no, it's okay. They're gonna have copies. Like it looks like it's not even gonna be sold out. So they're gonna have copies somewhere. And I took my time and I saw this and I way much prefer this. Well, let's tell you what it's about. It's actually super short. Like this is probably the only book I have that tells you nothing. Once upon a time, not very far from now, two children come home to find a line of wet red paint round the outside of their house. So begins a freewheeling and urgent new novel from Ali Smith, the story of two young people and a horse called Glyph, on the run from history as it takes a turn for the worst. I don't know what you got from that. I didn't really get much. We're running. Running where? I don't know. Okay, before I move on to this, because this is 3 books from the same author. There's some that have multiple books from the same author, but let me put that at the bottom before we get to multiple. This one, the cover sold me, honestly, when I was scrolling, but Bliss Montage by Ling Ma, which I have another book from Ling Ma. I think I have Severance, actually. I haven't read it yet. I know it's different from the TV show. I know a lot of people compare that book to the TV show, but it's different. From what I've read, or from what I've, heard, because I was also someone who looked it up, wait, is this book based on the TV? They're like, it's different. It's the same name, but probably, somewhat, I don't know. Anyways, so this is my second book from her. I haven't read her other one yet. Love and loneliness, connection and possession, friendship, motherhood, the idea of home. In Bliss Montage, Ling Ma brings us 8 widely different tales that take on our everyday fears and fantasy. A woman lives in a mansion with her husband and all her ex-boyfriends. That's one of the stories. A toxic friendship comes from its breaking point with the resurgence of a drug that makes you invisible. An ancient folk ritual might heal you of anything if you bury yourself alive. And in Office Hours, winner of an O. Henry Prize, a film professor discovers a portal inside a closet. These are other scenarios. Investigate the ways that the outlandish and ordinary are shockingly, deceptively, heartbreakingly alike. In this little book, what are you going to tell me? What are you going to tell me? It's not even that big. Why oranges? I can't wait. I can't wait till everything makes sense. You know how, the cover or some art in the book and you don't know why it's there in the first place? I can't wait till the oranges make sense. Regardless, it's a beautiful cover. Alright, the next one is also a very well-known book. I should have put this next to the other one that won a Nobel Prize, but this one is very well known. You probably know this as a different cover. It's the one with the girl and then the black lines across it, but I liked this print of it. So Never Let Me Go by Kazu Ishiguro. My friend recommended this book too. So actually a couple of these my friend has recommended. This one definitely, and I wanted to read this one. No, it's devastating, apparently. Did I want to read everything? I want to go into it blind. Yep, that's what I said. Because I've heard great things, and definitely books are recommended by my friend that I absolutely love, I actually just want to go into this one blind. It's well known enough for most of you to know about it. But yeah, Never Let Me Go. This print version of... Okay. This one I picked up purely because of the cover. Another one that's purely based on the cover, and to my surprise, when I was flipping through it, there's actually illustrations inside. I might bump this up for this year, to be honest. It's not that big. It's probably less than 200 pages. But it's called When I Sing Mountains Dance by Irene Sola. It's gorgeous. Isn't it nice? Okay, this one I said okay to read the back. So, high in the mountains, Dominique, I can be pronouncing that wrong, is struck by lightning while out foraging. He and his family, his wife, Sio, and their children, Mia and Hilary, grow up on the hulking summits of Pyrenees. Sorry. But the land is not theirs. It belongs to those who have long called the mountain their home. Mushrooms and roe deer, the ghosts of Spain's civil war, and the clouds that top these perilous climbs as the years tumble by Dominique's death. Whoa, okay, someone died. Oh, is it because she got struck by lightning? The inhabitants come together to bear witness to the tragedies that befall the families he leaves behind. Wow. See why I got it? But okay, I opened it, right? I couldn't help myself, and I hope I'm not spoiling myself. I still don't get it just looking at this page, so it's fine. But look, there's illustrations. There's more than that. There's like a whole like to do or breakdown of the mountain. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Very excited. Very excited. I will bump that up. It's a very naturey book. Maybe if I go camping or if I go out, this is the book I'm bringing. Be one with nature. Okay. There's two books I've gotten by this author, Marina Enriquez, mainly because of the cover. I've also heard good things about these books. So, and I know if you don't agree or not agree, but if you don't like these books, they're definitely books I want to read for myself to see if I like them too. I will show both of them at the same time and then break it down by one. But I have Things We Lost in the Fire and The Dangers of Smoking in Bed. Do you see how like crazy these covers are? Yeah, it's so worth the wait, y'all. It's so worth the wait when you try to find the copy you want. So let's start with Things We Lost in the Fire. Sleep-deprived fathers conjuring phantoms, sharp-toothed children and stolen skulls, persecuted young women drawn to self-immolation, organized crime sit side by side with the occult in Buenos Aires, in a place where reality and the preternatural, I can't pronounce that one, fuse into strange new shapes. I'm gonna stop there. This book's very small, so that did that not tell you? Sold me. If this is your first video of watching of mine, I have a very weird, clearly, taste in books, so don't judge me too hard, okay? I am very sold easily, and some topics or some themes or whatever words you use in your synopsis might get me, and I am the audience for that, okay? The Dangers of Smoking in Bed. Thrumming with murderous intentions, family betrayals, and morbid desires, these stories shine a light on a violent city gripped by urban madness, giving voice to the lost, the oppressed, and the forgotten. Lucid, the darkly poetic, unsettling, and otherworldly, these tales of revenge, witchcraft, and fetishes are a masterpiece of the contemporary Gothic and bewitching exploration of the dark inclinations that threaten to lead us over the edge. Hello? Might read this one before the other one. The crazier the book, the better. Okay, and we're reaching the end of the books that I want to show y'all. But these are books by Banana Yoshimoto. I've already finished one of their books. It's called NP. It wasn't too much of a hit for me personally. I don't think I was like not the demographic, but I'm not the audience for that book. So I'm really hoping, I know one of them is going to be a hit, but the other ones I can't wait to read. Just because one didn't do it for me doesn't mean I'm going to give up. I've heard great things about this author, so. I have Kitchen. The Premonition. And Dead End Memories. Actually, my friend gifted me the hardback edition, so I also have the paperback because I ended up getting it at the same time. But Dead End Memories. I might give one away because I don't want to have two. One away as in probably my copy of it because my friend gifted me the hardback and I want to keep that one. All right. These are very short. I think all of these I said okay to read the back for. So, very, very short. So for the Premonition, also, do you see the shiny? Should I focus it and then... Did it work? I don't know. I can't see. Yayoi lives with her I'm trying my best, so I'm sorry if you know how to pronounce it and I'm butchering all the names, but this is how I'm going to say it in my head. lives with her perfect loving family, something like you've never seen in a Spielberg movie. But while her parents tell you happy stories of her childhood, she is increasingly haunted by the sense that she's forgotten something important about her past. Interesting. And then Kitchen. There are two classic tales about mothers, trans identity, bereavement, Kitchen's Love and Tragedy. First published in 1987, it won two of Japan's most prestigious literary prizes, remained at the top of the bestsellers list for over a year, and has gone to be a much-loved international bestseller. So, can't wait. Clearly this one has a lot of, traction. But believe it or not, Dead End Memories is something that I've heard more in comparison to all the other books. But I can't wait for The Kitchen. And then Dead End Memories. Do I want to spoil it for myself and read the back? We'll read it, because I won't read it soon, so hopefully I'll forget. Effortlessly beautiful, nostalgic, and melancholy, the stories of Dead End Memories follow 5 women who, after a sudden painful events, find solace in the blissful moments in everyday life. The daughter of a restaurant owner experiences a budding romance accompanied by the ghost of elderly couple. After a scandalous near-death experience, an editor gains a new lease of life. A woman seeks refuge in the apartment above her uncle's bar after being betrayed by her fiancé. As Yoshimoto's gentle efforts prose reminds us, one true miracle can be as simple as having someone to share a meal with, and happiness is always within us if only we take a moment to see it. I'm excited. But yeah, those were all my books. That was my June birthday book haul. Yeah. Jeez, the stack. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are excited for me. I don't know. If the synopsis that I've read was interesting enough for you to go check out these books yourself, or you've already read these books and you're excited for me to be reading these books, let me know. Let me know. I hope you have a good day. I hope everyone's reading in the summer is giving them a great time. Summertime, from what I've seen, is a lot of people's favorite time to read, or it's a time where people are too busy to read because they're actually out and about doing things. But I mean, we can be out and about just reading instead. But yeah, so far from what I've heard from my friends and people that I follow, this is a very fun time to be reading during the summer, and a lot of people get their reading done. So I hope your reading is going well. We're already in the middle of June as I'm filming this. But yeah, okay. Bye, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Goodbye.